dive into today's episode, I just want to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us. It helps us grow, reach more amazing learners like you, and keep bringing you fresh and fun content every week. So don't forget, like, subscribe, and let's keep this journey going strong. Hello, you curious minds, and welcome once again to Idiom Insights. I'm Emma, and I am thrilled to be your guide today as we venture into the wild and wonderful world of English expressions, shining a light on phrases that make our language so unique.
And I'm Jack, your resident word nerd, ready to add a little bit of context and a whole lot of enthusiasm to our exploration. It's fantastic to be back with you all. I always think of these episodes as getting a secret key to a hidden room in the House of English, don't you, Emma?
I absolutely do, Jack. And today's room is filled with some particularly interesting items. We're going to be looking at a collection of idioms that describe everything from minor problems and indirect conversations to strange cures and very direct actions. It's a real mixed bag of human behavior.
That sounds brilliant. A linguistic treasure chest. Well, let's not keep our listeners in the dark. What are the 4 fascinating phrases we are unlocking in this episode of Idiom Insights? Lay them on us.
With pleasure. First up, we'll examine a phrase that describes a small problem that ruins a perfectly good situation. A fly in the ointment. Next, we'll talk about a very common and sometimes frustrating way of communicating. Beat around the bush. After that, we'll investigate a very peculiar-sounding cure for a common ailment with hair of the dog. And finally, we will zip straight to our last idiom, which is all about direct movement. Make a beeline for.
From flies to dogs to bees, it's a real menagerie of idioms today. Before we dive into that fascinating zoo of phrases, a quick word for you, our amazing listeners. If you find these discussions helpful and you enjoy spending this time with us, please take a second to hit that like or follow button. Subscribing ensures you'll get every new episode as soon as it's released, and it helps us immensely.
We're so grateful for your support. Okay, let's get into it. Our first idiom sounds a little unpleasant. It is a fly in the ointment.
Oof, yes, that image is not appealing at all. You picture a beautiful, smooth, expensive cream or medicine, the ointment, and then right in the middle, a horrible little fly. It completely ruins the whole thing. And that's precisely what the idiom means. A fly in the ointment is a small single detail that spoils something that would otherwise be perfect or enjoyable.
That's a wonderful breakdown, Jack. It's all about that one negative thing that stands out. Imagine you plan the perfect outdoor wedding. The sun is shining, the flowers are beautiful, the music is perfect. But the caterer is an hour late with the food. That delay, that one problem, is the fly in the ointment that spoils an otherwise perfect day.
It's the feeling of, everything was great, and that but is the fly. I once booked a holiday to a beautiful beachside hotel. The room was huge, the bed was comfortable, the staff were friendly, but the hotel was right next to a construction site that started work with loud noises at 6 in the morning every morning. That construction site was a massive fly in the ointment of my vacation.
That is a classic example. It's that one flaw that you just can't ignore. Let's listen to our friends Mia and Mark. They seem to be talking about a recent concert they attended.
Wasn't that an incredible show last night? The band had so much energy and the lead singer's voice was even better live than it is on their albums. I'm so glad we got tickets.
Oh, the music was absolutely brilliant. 10 out of 10. I've been waiting to see them for years and they did not disappoint. The light show, the song choices, everything was perfect from that standpoint.
I feel like there's a but coming. You have a butt face on. What was it?
Well, it's just a small thing, but the man sitting next to me insisted on singing along to every single song, very loudly and very out of tune. It was so distracting. The band was perfect, the atmosphere was electric. He was the only fly in the ointment.
Oh, we've all been there. The concert experience is 99% perfect, but that 1%, that one distracting person, can really spoil the taste of it. Mark's description is perfect. The man wasn't the whole experience, but he was the flaw that prevented it from being flawless.
Exactly. It perfectly captures that feeling of a small annoyance having a surprisingly large impact on your enjoyment. It's a wonderfully descriptive phrase. Now, we turn to you, our listeners. Can you recall a time when a small problem spoiled a great experience? Tell us about the fly in the ointment in your story.
All right, moving on to our second idiom. which describes something I think we are all guilty of from time to time. The phrase is beat around the bush.
This is such a common one. To beat around the bush means to avoid talking about the main topic or to delay saying what you really mean, usually because it is difficult, embarrassing, or unpleasant. You talk about other irrelevant things instead of being direct.
The image comes from hunting, where hunters would beat the bushes to scare birds or animals out into the open. So, if you're beating around the bush, you're making a lot of noise around the edges of the topic, but you're not actually getting to the main point itself. You're hoping it will just come out on its own, I suppose.
That's a great way of putting it. People do it all the time. A teenager who wants to ask for more money might start by talking about how well they're doing in school, how they clean their room, how expensive things are these days, all before finally asking the question. They're beating around the bush.
Let's listen in on Mia and Mark. It sounds like Mia is getting a little impatient with Mark, who seems to have something on his mind.
Hi, honey, you're home. How was your day? Did you see that the weather is supposed to be really nice this weekend? I was thinking maybe we could finally do some gardening.
Ah, the dreaded sing-along neighbor. Yes, that can definitely take you out of the moment. I see what you mean. A tiny fly in a very large, very rocking ointment. My day was fine, Mark, and yes, nice weather would be good. Is everything okay? You seem a little... You're tidying coasters that are already tidy.
Everything's fine. Totally fine. I was just thinking about your mother's visit last week. It was really lovely to see her, wasn't it? She looked well, and that blue vase she loves so much looked great on the coffee table.
The blue vase? Mark, what happened to the blue vase? Just tell me. Stop beating around the bush.
Okay, so you know how the dog gets excited when the doorbell rings? Well, there was a small incident. The vase is now in several very blue pieces. I'm so sorry.
Oh, poor Mark. You can hear the guilt and hesitation in his voice from the very beginning. He talked about the weather, gardening, her mother, anything and everything except the broken vase.
He was beating around that bush for all he was worth, and Mia knew it immediately. Her line, "Stop beating around the bush," is exactly how this idiom is used in real life. It's a command to be direct and just say the thing you are so clearly trying to avoid saying. Have you ever had to tell someone to stop beating around the bush? Or have you done it yourself? Share your stories in the comments.
Now for the third idiom in our podcast, a phrase you might hear the morning after a big party. It's the very strange sounding hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog. This one always makes me laugh. If you don't know what it means, it sounds completely bizarre. The full phrase is the hair of the dog that bit you, and it refers to drinking a small amount of alcohol to try and cure a hangover from drinking too much alcohol the night before.
Exactly. The origin is from an old, mistaken belief that if you were bitten by a dog, you could cure the wound by placing a hair from that same dog onto it. The idea transferred over to hangovers. The cure for the problem, too much alcohol, is a little bit more of the thing that caused it.
It's a classic folk remedy. Now, we should probably add that most doctors would say this is not a good idea. It just postpones the hangover. But the idiom itself is very common and widely understood to mean having another drink to feel better.
A very important clarification, Jack. Let's listen to Mia and Mark. It seems Mark is not feeling his best after a wedding celebration.
Good morning. Or maybe not so good for you. You're moving very slowly. Are you okay?
Morning. Please don't talk so loudly. I think I danced a little too hard last night and maybe celebrated with the happy couple a little too much. My head is pounding.
Ah, I see. A classic post-wedding hangover. You were having a great time on the dance floor. I've made you some coffee and toast.
You are a lifesaver. I don't think I can face the day. I feel awful.
Well, you know what they say. You could always have a little hair of the dog. There's a bottle of that spicy tomato juice in the fridge. We could make a very small Bloody Mary. Just a thought.
You can just picture the scene, can't you? The dark room, the headache, the slow movements. Mark is clearly suffering the consequences of the night before.
And Mia's suggestion is gentle and a little humorous. Hair of the dog is often used in this slightly playful way. It's a well-known, if questionable, solution to a very common problem. A perfect use of a very peculiar idiom. Now, we'd love to hear from our listeners. What are your thoughts on the hair of the dog remedy?
Excellent. And now for our fourth and final idiom of the episode. This one is all about purpose and direction. The phrase is make a beeline for.
This is a wonderfully visual phrase. To make a beeline for something or someone means to go towards them directly and quickly in the most direct route possible. You don't wander or get distracted, you have a target, and you go straight for it.
The origin is pretty obvious when you think about it. It comes from the behavior of honeybees. When a bee has collected nectar, It flies back to its hive in a very straight, direct line. So if you make a beeline, you are moving like that bee, with speed and a clear destination.
I love that. You can use it in so many situations. At a party, you might make a beeline for your best friend who you haven't seen in ages. If you're really hungry, you might enter a kitchen and make a beeline for the refrigerator. It emphasizes both speed and purpose.
Let's hear one final dialogue from Mia and Mark. They are talking about their experience at a crowded weekend food market.
Wow, that market was so much busier than I expected. There were people everywhere. I almost lost you in the crowd when we first walked in.
I know it was packed, but I had a mission. As soon as we got through the entrance, I knew exactly where I was going.
Really? I was just trying to take it all in. There were so many different stalls. What was your mission?
Did you not see the stall selling fresh, warm cinnamon rolls right by the fountain? I smelled them from the gate. I didn't even look left or right. I made a beeline for those cinnamon rolls before they sold out.
Ha! Now it makes sense. I should have known your beeline would lead to baked goods. And you were right. They were delicious.
That is a perfect and very relatable example. The sights and sounds of the market were distractions, but Mia had one clear goal. She moved quickly and directly towards the cinnamon rolls. She made a beeline for them.
It paints such a clear picture of her determined movement through the crowd. You can almost see her navigating past people with her eyes locked on the prize. A fantastic way to end our exploration for today. What is something you always make a beeline for at a party or a market? Let us know in the comments.
And with that, we've explored another 4 fascinating English idioms. Let's do a quick review of what we learned in this episode of Idiom Insights.
We started with a fly in the ointment, that small, annoying flaw that spoils an otherwise great situation.
Then we learned about indirect conversations and the frustration they can cause with beat around the bush.
We investigated the strange morning after cure known as hair of the dog.
And finally, we moved with speed and purpose towards our goal when we learned to make a beeline for something.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey and that you feel a little more confident using these colorful phrases. The best way to learn them is to try them out.
Absolutely. If you had a good time learning with us today, we would be so appreciative if you would leave us a like or a positive review. And to be sure you don't miss our next adventure, please hit that subscribe button.
Thank you all so much for listening. Your time and attention mean the world to us. Until next time, keep your ears open and your minds curious.
Goodbye for now, everyone.